Good morning, everybody. We've got two individual executive member decisions today. My name's Callum Wernham. I'm a Democratic and Electoral Services Specialist. Joining me in person today is Councillor John Kaiser, who's the executive member for Housing and Finance, and virtually is Councillor Wayne Smith, who's the executive member for Planning and Enforcement. On the officer side of things, we have Heather Reid, who's a senior planning officer. We also have Ben Davis, who's a planning and policy officer, and Ian Bellinger, who's the service manager for growth and delivery. So if we take the first IMD, which is in relation to the Defra consultation, and I'll hand straight over to Heather just to give us an introduction.
Okay, so this is the IMD relating to Woking and Borough Council's response to Defra's consultation on biodiversity net gain, regulations and implementation. So just in summary, the Defra are running a public consultation relating to biodiversity net gain regulations and implementations up until the 5th of April 2022, the responses of which will shape the secondary legislation, policy and guidance that will help deliver the aims of the Environment Act 2021. This report provides an overview of the key issues and sets out the recommended response, and a recommended full response to the consultation is set out in enclosure 1 to this report. It's recommended that Woking and Borough Council welcome and broadly support the principle of biodiversity net gains and many of the consultation proposals regarding its implementation. However, it is also recommended that further work is needed by Defra to consider how biodiversity net gain will operate in some circumstances. Wider impacts, including monitoring, reporting and enforcing of biodiversity net gain, should also be investigated further, particularly given the likely impact on the local planning authorities and the financial implications of resourcing. And specifically turning to the proposed exemption of householder, self-build, custom-build housing applications and change of use applications. It's recommended that Woking and Borough Council responds that it does not agree with Defra's proposal that change of use applications should be exempt. And it's also recommended that applications for temporary consent should be required to provide the minimum 10% biodiversity net gain. With regards to phase developments and development that's subject to subsequent applications, including variation of condition applications, Defra's proposed response to applications for outline permissions, which would have the effect of permitting development in phases, is that these should be subject to condition which requires the approval of a biodiversity gain plan prior to the commencement of each phase. It is recommended that this is acknowledged and that processes must be put in place to capture and agree this in a transparent way. Are there any questions?
Can I just ask a question? I mean, this is a response to a consultation. Does this mean that they would apply it? They have suggested it be applied to all development, including extensions and all that sort of thing. So
they're saying that below a certain threshold in size that they should be exempt, and they're also specifically talking about different types of applications. So, for example, householder applications, they're saying that they should be exempt because of their nature, and in terms of the change of use applications, that those should be exempt as well. So in terms of the change of use application, the council officers are concerned that that might lead to cases where biodiversity net gain opportunities are lost if outright they're just change of use applications.
Okay, so we're looking to expand on what they want to do.
Yes.
So in fact, this is a stand against making life easier for people, is what you're saying. In
certain instances, yes. So perhaps
at the expense of biodiversity.
Sorry.
Just to add something in, just to give a little bit of background as to why we wish to object to or recommend objecting to that aspect of the consultation, is that the government expects smaller schemes effectively to be exempt from all biodiversity contributions. However, our feeling is those schemes can have a significant biodiversity impact in combination, but we accept that the same system shouldn't be applied to those smaller schemes, and we've recommended that a simple tariff-based system could be applied to smaller planning applications, so that more smaller scale developments can make a contribution, but then isn't given a burdensome system of needing to calculate and go through a significant cost implication. But there should be some contribution to net gain, which the council could put towards strategic improvements and things of that nature.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you very much. I'm quite prepared to support and sign this. Do you wish to say anything, Wayne?
No, Heather highlighted the points that I was going to raise, but they're all detailed in the report. The thing you mentioned it earlier, Heather, that the real thing for the council is going to be how this gets reported, how we monitor it, and how we enforce it. That's going to be the key, and we've highlighted that in our response to Defra. So no, no other points from me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John and Wayne. What we'll do now is just quickly sign the decision sheet.
Okay, I sign this on the basis that it's improving, or we're asking for an improvement in the level of diversity. Thank you.
So subject to the standard 5-day call-in period, that decision will be made and the consultation response can then be officially sent. So we move swiftly on to the second IMD. I've already introduced the officers. This is a consultation. It's a response to the draft Ruscome Neighbourhood Plan consultation. So I'll hand straight over to Ben.
Thank you, Callum. So the purpose of this IMD is to agree Woking Borough Council's formal response to the draft Ruscome Neighbourhood Plan Regulation 16 consultation. To just set some context, neighbourhood plans allow communities to help shape how development is managed in their area, and they work alongside strategic planning policies set out in the council's local plans. So the adopted core strategy and the managing development delivery local plans. They can set out more detailed policies and can choose to allocate sites for development. However, they should not promote less development than set out in those strategic policies for the area or undermine those policies. So as you may be aware, Ruscombe Parish Council has prepared a neighbourhood plan and it covers their whole parish. The Parish Council has consulted their residents and other interested parties throughout its preparation and formally submitted the plan to the Council in October 2021. Executive agreed in January 2022 that the plan could progress to consultation, and that is currently live at the moment and ends on the 25th of March. So that's publicised for the minimum period of 6 weeks.
Okay, can I just ask, this is an extension of the localism rollout, and this is a standard really standard format of what many councils have gone through to enable them to have a local plan.
Yeah.
Are there any objections to their local neighbourhood plan?
So in the IMD report, we have highlighted some kind of key issues that we wish to bring to the examiner's attention. So, for example, a primary focus of the response and a full responses, including enclosure 1, is related to the housing design guide, which we believe is not considered to meet the basic conditions, as it constrains development in a manner that's not supported by national policy or the policies in the core strategy and MDD local plan. So that policy would have significant implications on the indicative site capacities for the 2 draft housing allocations that are currently proposed in the local plan update.
Okay, and does the plan align with the policies of the council and the council's local plan?
Yep. So there are policies containing kind of so the neighbourhood plan contains policies on housing, the natural and historic environment, community facilities, business and commercial development. It does not include any proposed site allocations for development. So it essentially just provides additional detail to the policies in the core strategy in the MDD. It does propose the designation of 10 areas as local green space, 8 of which are supported are reflected in the revised growth strategy, but we do have some concerns with the evidence that's been used to justify those remaining areas of local green space.
Okay, but there's nothing fundamentally which is different to the policies of the council?
No. Okay,
I'm quite happy to sign that. Wayne, did you want to say something?
No, I've been watching this one. No issues from me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, we'll just sign the second decision sheet now. And as with the first one, subject to the standard 5-day call-in period, that response to the Ruscome neighbourhood plan submission will go live. So that brings both IMDs to a close. And thank you very much for watching, and I will bring the meetings to a close now. Thank you.